Recording. So STF split is clear to everybody. It will split your string into different parts. Okay, so the next function is anchor. Anchor is easy one. It will count the number of characters in the string and it will give you length. So it is like a length function of Excel. Okay. So we can pass a vector and it will count, it will give me output in the form of a vector where each element will be the length of each element of vector. Okay. So that is anchor. Next is substr function. So it's like substring function. So substr require three arguments. First one is a string. Second one is the starting location of your substring. And third one is the ending location of your substring. Okay. It includes, okay, Naresh has asked, it includes fourth position also. So when we say start from 1 and go up to 4, so it will include fourth position, yes. Okay. So starting to end, although yes, both the positions. So if I say this, it will not return me anything. In Spark or Python, it excludes it. Okay. And in Excel or in Oracle, SQL, the second term is the length. Rather than position, it is a length. Okay. R minus 1 to n. Hmm. There are different programming language have different specifications. Okay. So shall we move to next function? Paste. So paste is an interesting function. It will, let's say you have two vectors, okay, string vectors or number, whatever it is, and you want to perform concatenation in such a way that first element of first vector is should be concatenated with first element of second vector. So I mean to say that if these are the two vectors, part 1 and part 2, so m should be concatenated with y, so it will become my. Then na should be concatenated with me, it will become name. ins is and test test. So We have to use paste function for that. It require 4 arguments for this thing. So first one will be the first vector, second vector, third is a separator, and fourth is collapse. So separator and collapse have different uh, purpose. So let's first understand the purpose of separator. So separator is the value, whatever string we pass in the separator, it will be used for concatenating these two elements. So if I put a, you can see in the next example, I have put a dash between, excuse me guys. Okay, so if we put a, I have put a dash in the separator function. So that dash has been concatenated with between m and y, m dash y. So this separator is used as a concatenated value between the elements of the vectors. Now second is collapse. So so there are two level of concatenation happening. First is between the elements of the vector, and second one is in the vector itself. So let me show this by example. Okay. Let me create one vector v1 equal to c1, 2, 3, 4, v2 c5, 6, 7, 8. Let's first see whether it is working with numbers or not. So that's what has happened. 1 and 5 are concatenated, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, and 4 and 8. Now if I put a separator like this, so there is no space between 1 and 5 now. Separator, whatever value we will pass in the separator, that will be used in inter-element concatenation of vector. Okay. Now let's say I pass collapse also. So this is also a vector actually. The output which we got after concatenating these two vectors is a vector. Now if we pass collapse, let's say dash. So this collapse will be used to concatenate the elements of new vector. Okay. So the first concatenation has been done between 1 and 5. So we got this vector 15, 26, 37, 48. And second level of concatenation will be done among these elements. So if you want to do that, then we can pass a value in collapse. So it will collapse our vector into one element. Any questions? Collapse meaning here. Collapse is a string value which we pass. Can we practice one more scenario? Yeah, sure. Okay. So, okay, you tell me. Okay, so let's take one more example. V1 is equal to C And let's make another vector C. So now two level of concatenation has been done. First of all, vector 1 is concatenated with vector 2, and since separator didn't have any string, it's just null. So there is nothing has been placed between two elements. In collapse we pass dash, so while collapsing this vector it has used dash. We can use it like this also, might be this will explain you better. We can use paste, that's all. So it has collapsed my vector with string dash. So collapse is used to concatenate all the elements of your vector. The output will be one element. So paste can be used in both the forms.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you please replace with separate in place of collapse?
Can we replace
V1
it?
comma
Okay.
right V1 comma separate hyphen.
Okay.
Like, minus yeah
Nothing will happen
second.
because there is no other vector with whom it can be used. So collapse will work on the output vector or a vector which you are passing, and separator will work between the vectors. Still confused? Separator will work only when you are passing two or more than two vectors. Because separator will be used for concatenating first element of first vector, first element of second vector. And collapse will be used to collapse your output vector. Need more example? First you understand them separately. Okay. What is separator doing and what is collapse doing. Then you can use both of them in single function. Let me take some. We took some numbers also. Okay, V1, V2. They have overwritten. V1, V2. See, this is a vector V1. Okay, I want to concatenate all the elements of this vector. So I will use paste V1, comma, collapse equal to. So my entire vector got concatenated. Collapse has collapsed the vector. If I would have passed dash, it would have collapsed with the help of dash. Now when you're concatenating two vectors, v1, v2. So v1 is set of numbers and v2 is again set of numbers. That's where separator comes into picture. Okay. So whatever you pass in the separator, that will be used for concatenating two vectors. Is it clear now? Okay. So all is well. So next function is after paste. Yes, one more thing. And somebody asked it in the morning session. What if one vector is shorter than another vector? So if we have v1 is equal to c1 is to 2 and v2 is same, and then we will apply this. So again 1 was concatenated with 5, 2 with 6, and for 7 and 8, since there was no element, it recycled the vector. Okay. So this recycling is happening here also. It should be multiple. No, it should not be, but it will give you a warning if it is not. So let's say v1 is 1 is to 3 and v2 is 5, 6, 7, 8. It is not necessary that it should be multiple. Okay. This is a dangerous feature of R. What if I don't need to recycle it? And we have to put some blank there. Huh? Alright. So shall we move to next function? Next is graph. So I hope you guys have used graph in Unix shell scripting. More or less it's same here. So graph will help you in finding the pattern. So do we have any vector here? No vector. Let's create a vector. So let's say there are some values there. My name is we are trying to find out those elements from this vector where there is a number. First, let's see, we will find out the number 3. Okay. So I will give 3 is the pattern which we are looking from vector v1. So the output is 3. It's confusing. So let's change it. 8. We are looking for number 8 in v1. So your graph will return you the index of the vector where that particular pattern is existing. If you want to see that element, you can pass this graph in square brackets. So it will return you the element where this 8 is existing. Okay. So basically it will search your strings for a particular letter, alphabet, string, or any pattern. Okay. So this function helps in data cleaning also. So that's how we can find out those data which are having some wrong value, punctuation, numbers, special characters, and we can clean them. Any questions? How do you search in Python for any pattern? Shall we move? So next is a very useful function, but we have to install a package for this one. So it is just run this one. Install.packages string R. Okay. Then call its library. Now you can use this function. So str replace all will replace any pattern, any string with another string. Okay. So let's take an example. So let's say we want to replace this semicolon from this vector. We want to remove it actually. Okay. So I will use str in a minute till the time you finish the installation. Okay, it will take couple of minutes. Okay, no problem, Sambit.
Is this has any meaning? Like it's showing downloaded source packages are in temp. Some, is this the correct path?
Yes. What happened? Is that okay to have downloaded package in temp? Yeah, that's okay.
So means once this package install, next time if I run this RStudio, I need not have to install. Correct?
Yes. You need not to install it again and again. It's one time process.
Okay.
But you have
Okay.
to
Okay. No,
but you
actually
have
this
to
temp I'm confused.
okay. But
Yes.
you have to load the library. That will be required.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
After this installation, you have to run one more command, library. So this will load this package into your memory. So done, everybody? It is again asking for a command. Uh, it is again asking for a command. What this means always? You run this one, install dot packages. Then you run library. Okay. But it went to another line. Went to another line. Hmm. Yeah, I didn't get you somewhere. You do one thing, you run this function. If your library has been loaded, then this function will be working. Okay. So we pass these two commands and press enter. Yes, you have to press enter. Yes, you do. Bye. That's it. Yes, that's it. First you install it and then you run library. That's it. Don't worry, it will
Ma'am,
be done it. Yes. I got a new window open says HTTP run. Yes, it will. You will get a mirror. Yes. If that's not a problem. So select one mirror. Anyone. You can select New Zealand or you can select India. See, every country has a mirror of this CWAN. So you can choose the nearest location. So for India, it's IIT Madras, or you can choose any country.
ma'am, where are you running this install.packages?
In
In the
the
terminal only.
in the terminal. Okay. If you are working in a studio, you can run it in your studio or in the interpreter. Okay. So whenever you do a package installation, it goes to the nearby mirror. If it is already set, then it will go to that default location and do the installation. If it is not, it will ask you which mirror should I choose, and you did not get any CRAM mirror. So might be it's already there in your setting. You in from your previous installation, it's already set. Yes. So it's one-time process when you open a session and you do a installation. It will ask you for the first time. Until the time your session is open, it won't ask you again. But when you close your session and open it again, and then do the installation, then it will ask you. Okay. So it might happen that for some people it will ask and for some it won't. So don't worry about it. So shall we try to execute this? So str underscore replace underscore all v1 semicolon. See, I got error. It's like I don't have it. Let's see. Library string. Hmm. See, so it was already installed in my session, but it was not in the memory. So when I was trying to execute this function, it gave me error, but could not find function str replace all. And when I loaded my library, function was also loaded into the memory, and now I can use it. So sometime it might happen that you have installed a package, but currently at that time it is not in the memory of your system. So it might give you a message that function not available.
And why there is big space? There are more space in between my and name, but less space in between name and is. Like,
Hmm. Is it? But that's a very keen observation. Okay. So there is more space between my and name, yes. And there is less space between name and yes. That's an interesting question and I don't know the answer. Okay, I will check it, why it is going on. Okay. My name is R. v1, v2. Let me make another one. It is good. But yeah, there should be some reason. Now they are equally spaced. Okay. So, so you understood the use of str underscore replace underscore all. So it will help us to replace a string, numbers, alphabet, character, anything with another string. Okay. So I could have used in this manner. Let's say in v2, I want to replace I with so we can replace the entire string or we can replace single letter, single word. Do you guys know what are regular expressions? Everybody?
So one more thing, here suppose there are in multiple words, if there are semicolon or is like that condition, so everywhere it will replace, correct?
Yes, everywhere it
Wherever
will
it will
replace.
find.
Yes.
Okay.
So for those who know regular expressions, you can use regular expressions here. And for those who don't know, I will give you an example. So let's say there is a vector v1. So there is one semicolon, colon, and so let's say this is your vector. Yeah. Okay. And you want to do a data cleaning of this vector. You want to remove colon, semicolon, whatever punctuation marks are there. So there are certain regular expressions through which you can pass all these values by single expression. Like for punctuation, so what this function will do, from this vector v1, it will remove all the punctuations with the, it will remove them just, it will just remove them. Okay. So let's see whether it's working or not. So that's the way we can define a set of numbers, set of alphabets, and we can pass them through regular expressions. Actually, this regular expression has an entire, you can have an entire session on regular expression. But here, might be this will give you a brief idea what we can do uh, through these regular expressions. Okay. Okay. So shall we move to next function? So we learned how to replace a string, how to find a pattern, how to concatenate two strings or one, how to concatenate two vector or one vector, how to calculate the length of the string. This we will cover later. So function. Okay. Will it remove all illegal characters? So Naresh has asked, will it remove all illegal characters? So by illegal, if you mean that special character is star, dash, caret, and percent, then yes, it will remove them. So let's move to mathematical functions, and then we will do statistical functions. So mathematicals are simple one. First one is exponential. It will calculate e raised to the power x. Okay. Second one is log. It will calculate the log value. Natural log. And law of 10 will calculate log with the base 10. Okay. And you can change the base also. So if you want to calculate the log on any other base rather than e, then you have to pass that base value after comma. Okay. Next is the square root. You can calculate the square root with the square root function sqrt. Then absolute abs, it will give you the absolute value. It will take out negative, it will convert negative into positive. Then round. So round is like mathematical round. You need to pass two arguments. First is your number, and second, till what place you want to do your rounding. By default, it is 0 after decimal places. So if you don't pass number of places, it will consider it to be 0. So answer of round 3.475 will be 3. Let's try it. Round 3.45 3, yes. So by default it's rounding to 0 place of decimal. Next is floor, ceiling actually. So floor will give you the floor value of any number, which is the integer part. So lowest integer value, and ceiling will give you the largest integer value. So for 3.4 will be 4. Next are trigonometric functions, sine, cos, tan. Then sum will give you sum of all the values in the object, sum of a vector. And prod will give you product of all the values. So sum will give you sum and prod will give you prod. Okay. Factorial will calculate the factorial value of the number. Now there are two special functions which are not there in some of the other programming languages. One is pmin, pmax. So let me explain this. So we have two vectors v1, v2. So pmin is pairwise minimum. So whenever we are passing two vectors, it will make the pair element by element. So the first element of first vector will be paired with first element of second vector. And out of these two, it will choose minimum. So 1 and 3, minimum is 1. So answer will be 1. 2 and 1, minimum is 1, again 1. 3 and 2, minimum is 2, again 2. So you might think that where we will use it. So let's think in this manner. You have a sales data of many branches and you want to know the figure, maximum figure out of them for each day. So if your vector is consisting of 30 elements with one data for each day, and likewise you have 10 vectors, so you can easily pull out which day was which branch had the maximum value on that day or minimum value on that day. So likewise Pmin, we have Pmax. It will give you pairwise maximum value. The input will be two vectors and the maximum value will be returned for each pair. Okay. Next is transpose. Transpose we already did in matrix, but okay, we can do it one more time. So for any matrix which has defined number of rows and column, if you want to make a transpose means converting your rows into column and columns into rows. So T is the function for transpose. When you pass your matrix to it, it will transpose the data. We have a transpose in Excel also, right? We can paste a special right click and there is option for transpose. Sweep we will do later. So any questions from mathematical functions? Pmin, Pmax, ceil, float, round, absolute, log, exponential, factorial, square root, sum, product. Give me some yes and no. Otherwise I feel like I'm talking to myself. Yes, there was a question. So what was the question? Can we apply Pmin and Pmax on strings? Okay, good one. Whenever there is a doubt, just apply it. V1, V2, Pmin. Is it funny, right? Pmax. It is working, but it doesn't make any sense. What is the meaning of fractionally recycled? Okay, by fractionally recycled we mean, so when a vector is completely recycled, all the elements are reused. And when it is when it is recycling a part of the vector, then it is fractionally recycled. Okay. So Pawan is suggesting me to take single character in vector. Okay. So let's take single character in vector. Okay. It will become easy for to compare it. Sometimes there's so many enhancements in R. Uh, 2 version back, 3.4.3.0. This recycling was restricted to CD, some of the functions. Now they have applied it to all of them. Okay. So Pmax V1 comma V2. EFG E Pmin V1 comma V2 ABCD. Pmin ABCD Pmax. It doesn't look like considering. Let me change the places. So Pmax V2 comma V1. So earlier it was EFGA E. Answer is same. Okay, at least it's static on its logic. So how come Pmax? Okay, Atul, you do this experiment and let me know what you found. Okay. So in the meantime, we will move to next section. I got the output. Okay, what you got, Samit? You are thinking you can use this to compare the strings? Straightforward. I compared A to D with E to H. Okay. What did you get? Hmm. Yes, I also got EFG E because it was EFG. So output is same. So let's finish it quickly for today. Otherwise, people will start leaving. Okay. So next is statistical functions. Although we will cover them detail in statistics, but in when I will have this session, you will understand the concepts. So today I am explaining the functions. Okay, so basic functions like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, all these are available in R and we can easily use them. So for calculating the average, we have mean. For median, we have median, but the mode is different here. In statistics, mode is a value which is occurring most with the highest frequency. But the function mode in R is different from mode of statistics. So if you apply mode on any vector or any object, it will return you what type of data it is storing. It's numeric, character, logical. So it's only for the mode only. For rest of the function, it's fine. So for mode, we have to write either we have to write our own function, or we have to do it in. We can use frequency or table function. But with mean and median, it's fine. You can use mean, median. Okay, so next is summary. Summary will return you summary of the data. So the output will be 6 variables. First will be the minimum, then first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, maximum. Okay, if there is a confusion regarding quartiles, then we will cover it in statistics. Okay, so summary will return me minimum, maximum, median, mean, first quartile, and third quartile. So it is a very useful function, and we will be using it lot of times in our data analysis. Next is quantile. It will return the quantiles of the data, and basically quantiles are there are 3 quantiles. So they divide our data into 4 parts. So let's say you have a number is 1 to 100. So these quantile will divide the data into 4 parts with 25% in each section. So your 25 will be first quantile, 50 will be second, and 75 will be third quantile. Okay. But we will discuss it in detail in statistics, conceptually. Why do we need quantile? Why do we calculate them? How they are calculated? Next is the table function. Table function will give you a frequency table of a data. Do you all know what is frequency table? Might be you have created a frequency table in your school with those dash, 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 straight lines. Then how one is saying no? Okay, no problem. So basically, let's say you have a vector. You can have a look over this example. So let's take an example. This vector 10, 11, 23, 45, 12. So we can see there are a lot of values which are how many times a number. Yes, Pawan, you are right. How many times a number is repeated in the list or in the data. So that's what frequency table does. So it will the output will be a vector with all the unique numbers, and how many times each number has been repeated. That will be the output of table function. Okay. And let's say 2 more. I think people are sleepy now. Cumulative sum and cumulative product. Okay. So cumulative sum will give you sum of each element with all the previous one. So if there is a vector 1, 2, 3, so first will be 1, then second element will be the sum of second and first element. Third element will be the sum of third, second, and first one. Okay. Similarly, we have cumulative product. And with this, let's end our session for today. So please go through this document. This is available in the shared drive. And in case you have a doubt with any function, then let me know. Okay. Yes, Shiva, are you there? So share your screen. I will make you presenter. Okay, now you can share your screen. Okay. Sudo gedit sources.list. Okay. Now run your third command. Sudo apt update. Okay. Hmm. Is it possible that I can have a control over your system through this Go meeting? Okay, no problem. I will check it. You proceed with the installation. Just copy it till rbase. Sudo apt dash get install r dash base. Hmm. Let me check this out. This is first time Shiva you are installing this? Or have you don't have any old version? That's what I was asking. So let me close all my files.